pasó, güey? It's your homeboy Quetzalcoatl. And you know I had to hit your bitch ass up with this video right here. This is the Sergio Martinez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. post-fight video. What a motherfucking fight. Shit, what a motherfucking boxing night. Today we had two huge main events on Showtime as well as HBO pay-per-view. And each of those main events had very good undercards. Because of that, I was flipping through both. The main fight that I wanted to watch was the Sergio Martinez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. That was a main motherfucking fight for me. But the Showtime undercard was a lot better than HBO's undercard. So I was flipping through that. One of the undercard fights that I was able to watch in its entirety on the HBO pay-per-view was the Randal versus Maroin. Randal pretty much handled his business. He did his thing. Maroin fought respectable. He shouldn't be ashamed of the performance he had. He gave it everything he had. But Randal is just, he's a great boxer. He has a thorough amateur background. Probably one of the best amateur boxers of all time. Although in this fight, you did see that Randal's chin is a bit suspect. Because of his great defense, you've rarely seen him get hit. And on two occasions in this fight where he did get hit with fairly flush shots, he was rocked, and he was rocked bad. Although I would say that a lot of that had to do not with laziness, but just being careless in those moments, and he got caught. That may in fact lure other opponents, other elite opponents that were hesitant to fight him. Seeing him rock like that may make them a little bit more eager to want to fight him now, which that may be good for him. But, he represented, he got the W. The main event. Sergio Martinez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, after the Andy Lee fight, I called this fight. In the Andy Lee versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. post-fight video, I said it. I told you what I felt about Chavez Jr. I said he was a bum. I said he had limited boxing skills. And I said that Sergio Martinez was nothing like the opponents that he has faced in the past. Sergio Martinez put up a masterpiece on this motherfucker. And motherfuckers, it was a lot of people hating. Like I said, I'm a proud Mexican, and in most cases, I'm rooting for the Mexican almost no matter what. But there are some exceptions, and one of those exceptions was this Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. I mean, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. just himself. I felt that throughout all these years that he's just been a hype job. He's been very overhyped, and basically all of his recognition has come because of who his father is, and not because of his talent. His middleweight title, people were telling me messages, why you disrespecting the champ and this and that, this and all this bullshit. And his title, the WBC title, that title really belonged to Sergio Martinez. It was stripped from him. The WBC once had an illustrious, legacy in the past. You've seen a lot of great champions of the past hold that title, but right now the WBC, I mean, it's with all these silver champions and super champions and all this bullshit that's going on. That title has been very watered down right now, and you saw that happen with Sergio Martinez, where he is the undisputed middleweight champion, and he was stripped of those titles. And in this fight, Sergio Martinez was fighting with a purpose. He was fighting with determination. Part of the reason why he was fighting, not only for himself, to get the recognition that he's deserved for years. Me and my homeboy, we've been watching boxing for for years now. You know what I'm saying? I know my homeboy since motherfucking middle school. We've been watching boxing since then. And ever since, we first started watching Sergio Martinez, we've been saying for years that this dude right here is underrated. You know, he's one of the most underrated fighters to this day of this generation. As I've said in videos of the past, somewhat like Winky Wright. And Sergio Martinez was fighting for that recognition, to get the credit that he's been deserving, even after becoming the undisputed middleweight champion. Not only for that, but he was also fighting for the sport of boxing. For all the bullshit that's been fucking going on. Motherfucking Marquez getting robbed by Pacquiao 3 motherfucking times. All these motherfuckers getting caught cheating with steroids and plastering their motherfucking gloves. All kind of bullshit going on. Corruption. Bob Barum snake motherfucking ass. Chavez Jr. being a fucking hype job. Martinez was fighting for that, to keep the sport motherfucking clean again. To expose Chavez Jr. And Martinez was too much. Martinez had, I told you, he had that great footwork, great speed, really cocky in that ring. That kind of cost him the 12th round. But for 11 and a half rounds, completely dominated Chavez Jr. Hitting him to the body. Motherfucking Chavez Jr. was on face-off saying that his most effective punch, as far as Sergio Martinez, is a straight left to the body. He already knew that was an effective punch. Sergio Martinez was landing that shit consistently, over and over and over on that motherfucker. He was never letting Chavez Jr. get off. You know, he would throw a 1-2 or, you know, maybe 3-punch combination, and, you know, he would pivot out the way. He would move around, give him angles, and each time Chavez Jr. had to keep setting up to throw a power punch. And even then, you know, he wasn't even trying to throw arm punches just to throw something. He just was hesitant, and that was because of Sergio Martinez's timing. He had great timing, and he made Chavez Jr. respect him from round 1. Chavez Jr. didn't try to get crazy or reckless or anything like that, because he knew that Sergio Martinez was going to catch his ass with a huge shot if he did that. And for the most part, Chavez Jr. looked like shit. What I will give Chavez Jr., I will give him this from this fight, and, you know, I respect him for stepping up and fighting in a big fight. You know what I'm saying? He had over 40 fights, and this was his big fight. Although he still is a young fighter, you know, you got to give him respect for stepping up, and the heart that he showed in this fight, because he was completely shut out in this fight, and he was able, you know, to have that rally in the 12th round, you know, despite being popped in the fucking face. So, you know, I have to give him props for that. But Sergio Martinez deserves all the motherfucking credit in the world. This motherfucker, like I said, he did a motherfucking masterpiece on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, you saw in the 12th round, Sergio Martinez, he got a little bit cocky. He got a little bit careless. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was able to take advantage in that moment. And he caught Sergio Martinez with a couple shots. The first initial shot that hurt him was a shot that he didn't see coming. And, you know, it's cliche, but the shots that you don't see coming are the shots that hurt you. And Sergio Martinez got fucking rocked. You know, I wasn't betting in that fight. You know, I was going for Sergio Martinez, you know, in that fight. But if somebody was betting in that fight, they were, you know, betting on Sergio Martinez, man, in that moment when he got dropped, they were shitting in their motherfucking pants. That was a hell of a moment. But, like I said, you give Chavez Jr. credit for that. But, you know, don't go out your motherfucking way and say that Sergio Martinez was almost knocked out and this and that. No, don't even come close to saying no bullshit like that. Because throughout the fight, Sergio Martinez put that motherfucking topic to sleep. Anytime Chavez Jr. even came close to coming with an effective shot, Sergio Martinez came back and would throw twice as many as what Chavez landed to prove a point that Chavez Jr. wasn't going to do shit. Even in the 12th round, when he was fucking hurt, he was hurt bad. He came back. He showed you his motherfucking heart. He wasn't like Lucian Bute when he got motherfucking rocked and was out on his motherfucking feet and got help from the motherfucking referee against Andrade. He didn't do that. He didn't fold under the pressure like Jermaine Taylor did against Carl Froch in the 12th round where he got knocked out. He didn't even hold. He stood there and he stood his motherfucking ground and he slugged it out with Chavez and he made Chavez back the fuck off while he was almost fucking gone. You can't take that away from Sergio Martinez. That motherfucker showed a gang of motherfucking heart. Who I would like to see him fight in the future. I don't think that he's a completely natural 160 pounder. You've seen that he's been rocked on different occasions at 160 pounds by people who are more natural 160 pound fighters. I think 154 is, I mean, he'd be a monster at 154. But you know, he he has a power at 160. He just his chin is sometimes suspect at 160. I think a mega fight against Floyd Mayweather. If the Pacquiao fight can't be made, I think that's the fight that should be made at 154. Of course, it would have been good to see him against Pacquiao, but Pacquiao's going to fight Marquez for a 4th time. A rematch would be good. And for all those people that are thinking that Chavez Jr. is going to somehow find something that he did in the 12th round and apply that to the second fight, I think if he does that, if he tries to be aggressive in the beginning of the fight, it's going to be worse for him because Sergio Martinez is going to find that opening when Chavez Jr. gets reckless, and he's going to catch him and he's probably going to knock him out in the second fight. But, like I said, I give respect to Chavez for stepping up. But like I said, he was an overhyped fighter. All of that, the Chavez Jr., the hype, it was like a fucking boat. Like a fucking Titanic of shit. You know, fuck it. It was like the shit from 2012. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker was packed. Motherfucker like, all aboard. And everybody was on that motherfucking hype boat. Not me though. You know, I saw through the bullshit. But Sergio Martinez, that Chavez Jr. hype ship, crashed into an iceberg named Sergio Martinez. And the ship has sunk. And everybody on the Chavez Jr. hype ship has perished. So, you know, I like to go ahead and have a quick moment of silence for him. You know, let's pray for all the people that died under that hype ship. Cesar Chavez. This is your homeboy Quetzalcoatl. Signing the fuck on out.